Okay.
Hey Chris, whereabouts are you with that wonderful English accent?
No, I'm based in Sheffield.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. What about yourself?
I lived in London a long time, 30 odd years, but I moved to Canada about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow, wonderful. Oh, beautiful. I love Canada. It's a beautiful country. Yeah, it's probably one of three countries that I could live in. Canada, I think. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, it's hot here today.
Oh, yeah, it has been here too. We've had some really heavy weather here too, but yeah, strange things.
It's, it's funny, Joe, I was just speaking to my niece who's coming to see me next month,
I
and she's in Sheffield as well.
Oh,
okay,
really?
sorry.
What, studying? Is she at the university?
I had to get back.
No, no,
So
she
Oh,
lives and works there.
David,
I
are
feel
you back,
right.
David?
Yeah, I'm leaving. What's up?
Okay, I just accepted
I
my
think I
grant.
don't
I'm
think he's
telling you,
talking to
work for
us.
back.
Yeah.
No,
Sunny,
I
I see
have
you're
these two
driving,
things
so
for.
Sunny, I see you're driving, so all good. Hello, Geraldine. Nice to see you again. And hello, Demetra. Tell me how to say it properly.
It's Demetra.
Demetra. Nice to see you. And
Thank you so
Shay is
much.
here as well. And Steven's here. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Part of me was like, it's summertime. Maybe it'll be me and David in this room. But glad you guys are here. I know David is having a little something happened, a little blip here, but we'll just get this party started. I let me just we always record it for YouTube so that we have the recording on the YouTube channel for those educators who perhaps are in a different time zone. But welcome everybody. It's fun to see some new faces, and we have Pastor Rodney in the house as well too. Hello there. Great. Everybody can hear and see each other. Fantastic. Since it is summer, we're going with a very relaxed summer vibe today. We don't have a particularly like strict agenda or a scheduled topic. I have a few things on my mind that I wanted to talk to you guys about related to Ecamm. For example, have any of you used any of the audio filters that are part of the newer Ecamm updates where no, I'm seeing some, no, okay. So maybe I could show you guys that because I do not use any type of mixing device or soundboard like a Rode or anything like that. I have this microphone connected directly to my computer and I don't have anything else with that. But the new audio filters has made it such that let me just turn original sound for musicians on. So I'm gonna type. Can you guys tell me if you can hear me typing or not? Ready? I'm gonna start typing. Can you guys hear my keyboard?
No,
No,
Okay, I get a lot of no's. And if I
I
did
did.
not have that sound that sound isolation on, you would hear my keyboard. And I have the chair squeaks a little bit sometimes too, and that solved that problem for me. So I thought that's a tip I can show you guys today that has been very helpful to me, especially for those of us who are not using Rode or other audio devices. And then I just wanted to hear what's going on with everybody. How have you been using Ecamm for your educational things? And I thought today could be a fun day for us to, Daryl, I will show you. I will show you everything. And then I thought today could, if you guys wanted to, could be a fun day for us to go into breakout rooms of 3 so that we could have a chance to meet each other, connect, and learn what are other people doing? How are we using Ecamm in our education lives? And also, I thought if anybody, how many of you guys attended Alec Johnson's live Ecamm workshop today? I know I saw Stephen was there. So maybe we could share a couple takeaways from that, Stephen, if you have some that you took away today. And David is saying, sorry, I can't be on screen today. David, no problem at all. It's all good. So, David, can you just let me know, is it recording to YouTube? Is it streaming to YouTube?
Yes, it is.
Okay, fantastic. Beautiful. All right. So how does it sound if I start with showing you guys the sound. Now, keeping in mind that I am not a sound expert, this is actually probably my weakest. I'm much stronger with the video and the graphics side of it, but I did want to share. So let me move my Zoom window and I'm going to do live demo mode, which I do have a key specifically for that on my Stream Deck. So boom, one key on the Stream Deck, live demo mode turns on. And it is in the sound levels panel, right? So if you guys follow along with me, you go to your sound levels panel. There is this little puzzle piece on the bottom right-hand corner of that. And when you click on it, some things will appear. So I'm just going to I'll delete a couple things so that click on this, throw it in the trash. Click. Okay, so I have two filters in here. One is sound isolation, and I'll show you how to add one from scratch. In this menu, and let me put it up by my face so that you guys can actually see this a little bit. I know it's going to look really small as well, but I can zoom in a little bit here. So this audio filter, once you click that little, and I'll just do that again. So when you're on the sound levels tab, I'll bring that up here. Sound levels tab, you go to a little puzzle piece on the bottom right hand corner. You click that, and then you'll get this new audio filters window here. When you click on the plus symbol, you're going to get a line called new audio filter, and you pick which mic you want. Main mic, secondary mic, interview guests. You may have other options if you have other mics. For me, it's just the main mic. So I've got the red and white check mark there. Then I go to add plugin. And these are built into the Mac world. So I click add plugin. I go to Apple. I have Focusrite is something I downloaded that I have to explore, and and SoftTube as well. Something to do with audio stuff that I have not yet gotten into, but just go to the one that has Apple. And then Apple is going to give us a menu of a bunch of stuff. Now, I don't know what most of the stuff is. I know what two of these things are. So I'm going to show you the two things I know. Sound isolation is the one that I have here. And that sound isolation allows the things to be, my voice to be isolated versus hearing the keyboard or my squeaky chair or any other things in the room. So I'm just going to, oops, no, sorry. Going to, I have two copies of it. So I'm just going to, if you ever want to delete it, you just have to make sure the white bar is around it and then click the trash can. But I have the sound, and it's applied because this red and white check mark here is on. So I know that that's doing that. Yes.
I ask two questions.
Yes.
Number one is if you turn on voice isolation or sound isolation, isn't that the same as if you were using Zoom's processing? And second of all, if you do that, don't you lose the ability to play sound effects and music over Ecamm?
So let's just do a quick test. So you tell me if you hear my audio effect. Right, you heard a little mountain thingy. So it does not, because it works on the microphone at the microphone level. So it's set to the main. Now again, this is me guessing because, like I said, audio is not my forte, but it applies to the sound coming into the microphone. And in Zoom, and I am using Ecamm for Zoom, I do have original sound for musicians on. And so I'm essentially using sound isolation within Ecamm with this audio filter to do that rather than using Zoom's built-in sound. So that's the first one that I know how to do. And I saw some things in the chat, so let me go over to the chat. Let's see. Pastor Rodney, you're saying you're here for a short time because you have to record a lesson around 3:20. Oh, hey, okay, no problem. I think you must be in 1 hour behind, right? So for me, it's 4:13. For you, it must be 3:13. So you're gonna have to go in a few minutes, but absolutely no problem. And good for you. You're gonna start recording a lesson. Very nice. What kind of lesson are you doing today? Sunday school
I
lesson.
guess I
Oh,
can turn my
awesome.
mic on. Yeah, I do 4 Sunday school lessons a week.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
and you can call me Rodney. That my title has been up there. It's just like it's locked in, but Rodney's on my birth certificate. So,
Okay, you got it, Rodney. Thank you very much for the
thank
invitation
you.
there. Awesome. Okay, so I see the other thing, Daryl, you're saying you do not have an Apple option. Anyone else have that situation happen? No Apple option either, says Chris, but I do have all the plugins listed. Ah, okay. Which plugin was it? Okay. Interesting. So you guys did not have Apple. I have not done anything special. And when I click on the plus symbol here and I go to add plugin in this little menu here, Apple was automatically there. So I don't know why it would not be there for some of you.
What was
And
the
it
name of the plugin again, though? It might be listed and I just didn't see it because I got stuck when I didn't have Apple.
inside Apple, it's called sound isolation. So it's actually the last one on my list because they're in alphabetical order, and sound
Gotcha. Yeah, no,
isolation is the last one.
So I don't have the Apple, but I have that list, and the bottom one is sound isolation. So it's like it's right there. I don't have options other than Apple.
Yes, that yes, right. But you guys do have the Apple option
Well, I'm just saying when I click on add plugin, it doesn't. It just gives me the list. It doesn't say
because you're
Apple.
okay. I understand because the only one you have is Apple, so
Yes.
that's fine. I have added Focusrite and SoftTube, so that's why I have this list. But if you don't, sounds like what we're saying is you don't have to click Apple. If the only one you have is Apple, it's going to bring you to the list of Apple, which
Right.
sound isolation is the last one. Okay, good.
yeah,
Hey,
sound
so
isolation isn't on mine. My last one is sample delay.
what?
Can you scroll down one more, maybe?
Nope, it's not there. That's
Really?
the
So
very bottom. But don't waste time on me. I'll figure it out some kind of way.
no, but that's not a time waster at all, Daryl. It's like an oddity. Like what could that be? Why would that be happening? That makes no sense. Strange. So was somebody saying something? Maybe David? No, I know David's traveling, so I'm not sure if that was him.
So I have a question. The fact that is this only available in Pro?
I don't know.
Because I can choose it, but at the top of the thing it says Pro. So, but then I don't know why it's letting me choose it if it's only available on
Okay,
Pro.
at
Is
the
it?
top, when you click on sound isolation, somewhere there it says Pro.
Tatiana, is it just me or are we getting a lot of static from someone?
I think it's from David.
No, it's not.
Dave,
Can everyone maybe just mute themselves? I've been muted the whole time. Can everyone just maybe mute themselves until they're talking? Thanks.
It's only when one person was speaking that was happening.
Tatiana, all I was saying before about the sound isolation is that it may not be there because he may not have it installed on his system. He may be in a different, I don't know, maybe he's on an old version of the operating system. It's there are a lot of different factors why it might not be there.
could be the operating system, right? But it's yeah. Oh, it's kind of strange about the sound isolation not being there. I have found it helpful to, isolate my voice. So that was a good find. The other one, okay, the other one that I have used, and this one happened to me by accident. And I actually did share a video because I was playing around with this, didn't realize it was on. So you see how the first sound isolation has the checkbox, and the new one, new audio filter, AU, new pitch on my mic has nothing. That's like it's my list, but it's not going to apply it to the microphone. So here's what happens when we do apply
So now you're probably experiencing my voice a little bit differently. So that this one changes the pitch of the voice. I will uncheck that.
So go back to normal, but you can either make yourself sound like a chipmunk or make yourself sound like a spooky, scary person. So and that's the same things. You go to add plugin, and then that one is the pitch and do pitch, right? So it's called pitch. And when you add it to your list, you have some things that you can change in this little cogwheel under pitch to the right of that. When you click on it, you can either increase it to make your voice go super high or decrease it to sound scary. So you will have to record yourself because you won't in real time be able to, you will have no idea that your voice is coming across differently because you sound like yourself to yourself. So it's hilarious, and it happened to me in a meeting completely by accident. And I was in a training workshop where I was a student, and the instructor leading the workshop said, Tatiana, it seems like I'm having a hard time understanding you. He's like, something weird must be going on. And he was very nice. When I watched back the recording, I almost lost control of my bladder, hysterical laughing at that whole situation. So you can use it for playful things, especially, I teach public speaking, so it can be used to talk about a change of pitch and all of that kind of stuff. Just know when it's on, when it's not, because it was pretty funny to me. So I do not know what the other ones have done, and I haven't explored them. I did try Dynamics Processor just to see if that did, make my voice sound any differently, but I may have tried another one like the Roger Beep one adds like when you're on a walkie-talkie, like Roger that, Charlie Echo Bravo Alpha, but that's pretty much as far as I got. But I'm very happy with the sound isolation one. So I wanted to share that with everybody.
Tatiana, I use the EQ and the compressor app, like plugins. But
Awesome.
that's usually when I'm recording a podcast, and I just want to use the compression to sort of just tighten up so that you get a little bit more of that radio voice that we all kind of like.
Like the
And
smooth butteriness part,
yeah,
or
and well, the smooth butter, you also have to get closer to your mic if you want to do that. And there's a few other little things that we need to do when we do that. But if you just want something quick and easy, uh, the compressor is good, and the EQ. So if I do use the EQ, I have it balanced a little bit, but not overly balanced. But again, if you want to just control, if you record yourself and then you want to change some aspects of that and see how that sounds, then play around with it. And if you have
absolutely.
other ones there, like you said, there are ways to bring in other audio plugins into
Yes.
just different in the same directory, if it is same folder, sorry, same folder, and then you'll see, and you're absolutely right. If you haven't added any, you will not see the folder Apple. If you do add, you'll see Apple then the other ones, because right now they're all in a folder called Apple, but we don't need to open that folder. It opens dynamically. But like I think you said, you have Focusrite or some others. I have a bunch that came with a lot of my music uh,
Mm-hmm.
software, and you can actually copy some of those in if you like them. But you'll use 20 of them at the beginning and you'll end up with two. It's like everything else. It's like the shiny penny. But if anybody's using LUTs, it kind of works the same way, right? If you're adjusting the video with a LUT and you want to adjust the audio with an audio plugin, that's the way I look at it. And I think it can be tweaked a bit to be a little bit more user friendly. But once you figure it out, like it took me forever to realize you have to double click. Once you click the plus, sorry, not the plus. Once you open the filter, then you have to double click on the actual puzzle piece, the plugin that shows and then you get the compressor, the controls, and everything else. Otherwise, you don't get it.
Yes. Thank you, Stephen. And circling back to what you're saying with LUT, how many of you guys want me to explain what a LUT is, in case that's not a familiar term to you guys? Because I was actually just playing with
I
LUTs
don't know what
myself
it
recently.
is.
Okay, I'm going to spotlight myself so that you can see me nice and big. Or actually, I think I might have accidentally spotlight Daryl. Sorry, Daryl. Let me spotlight myself. Here we go. Okay, so I am going to take off my LUT so you can see the difference, and then I'm going to explain what it is. So have a look at my video. Okay, here is the camera feed directly. So this is my Sony ZV-E10 plugged in, like as if it were a webcam, just looking right at me. I have a LUT applied, which stands for Look Up Table, which doesn't really tell you anything about what it is. But if I apply it now, you see how there's a change in color, a change in tone, a change in saturation, and my video looks, I think, better. That's what a LUT is. It's basically, you know how people on Instagram, that phase where everybody had all these filters in their photos? It's a filter for video, just like we have filters for photos. That's what a LUT is, but it's not so simple as, but there, Tom Buck, Tombuck, Tom Buck, who's also an Ecamm user and has a great YouTube channel, content creation things. He has a free one that I really like. I have downloaded several from my Envato Elements account and all that, and I can't quite find one that I really like. Tom Bucks is the closest to something that I really like, and it's on my list of things to do to make my own in Final Cut Pro, because it's basically color correcting types of things. I have not gotten around to making a LUT, but I will show you in Ecamm where you put those in. Oops, I just have to move our Zoom window out of the way. Okay, so moving my zoom so we don't get the infinity effect. And then we have the camera effects panel, right? So now we're in camera effects. And if you keep scrolling down past digital zoom, past picture settings, there is this select LUT option. And then once you select LUT, you navigate anywhere in I have a folder inside my Ecamm folder called LUTs, and I have the Tom Buck LUT that I like that I mentioned. So I say open, it opens, and I think it defaults to 100%. You can dial that back. You can set it to any, so here's that at 0, and here it is at 100. So those are some nice things that you can do with a LUT. Now I'm going to show you a LUT that I recently downloaded that I got from Envato Elements that I just was like, this is not going to work for like this. This is an effect which I don't find appealing. So, I have found it very hard to find one that I love. So if any of you find any that just help you look more like natural lit, let me know, because I would really like that one. But for now, I'm pretty happy with Tom Buck's LUT. So you can do a search for free LUTs or try some things out. Tom Bucks is still available for free too, so that's an easy one to find. And that's a way that you can make your video image just have some brightness to it, a little bit more visual appeal. Then you can explore and experiment, and maybe I always think like, hey, for Halloween, it's kind of cool to do some fun effects. Yes, you can, Chris, save that LUT file for later on your hard drive. So it's a file. It's a file that can go anywhere in your folders, anywhere that you want to keep it, and then come back to it all. Oh, and then I see that Rodney had to leave. So Rodney, thank you for joining us. If you may have already left, glad you could be here. So yeah, Stephen, you can see a big difference with those. And so, I think it's powerful. And I have great lighting, and I've white balanced my camera and done a lot of things to get it as best as I can in camera. So I think let's just add a little bit of pop, and I think that that's I think that's pretty good. Within our camera settings, though, there are a lot of other things we can do too. So one of the things is if you can add a little bit of brightness, and a little does go a long way. So if I just add 10, I can already see this overexposing a bit, and that's obviously way too much, but you do have some brightness controls here. I try to keep this close to 0 and try to do everything in camera as much as possible. So I'll just take everything off to show you here again. And I'm going to just click reset. So now everything is reset within my camera. Select a LUT. I'm going to add the Tom Buck LUT in here. Defaults to 100%, and I'm pretty happy with that. Sometimes it feels a little too warm, so I will bring my temperature down a little bit, like around maybe -5. It's closer to the cool side versus to the yellow side, which adds more warmth, right? If any of you know about the Kelvin scale for white balance, light has a color temperature to it. And I think that's, and what I was going to say is I do sometimes reduce the gamma a tiny bit, which increasing it makes the blacks blacker and more saturation. So sometimes I just want it to be a tiny bit brighter. This is all preference. So I will just dial this back to like a -4 to help decrease some of the shadows, especially because I have a dark background with it being wood. It doesn't reflect a lot of light, though I do have lighting underneath there to light up the background too. So those are some fun things that you can do with camera effects. You can always mirror. Here you can make black and white. Don't know if you guys have ever played around with these. You can add a sepia tone. You can blur yourself. Like, this is a fun thing to do if you have a guest coming on and you don't want to reveal who your guest is just yet. You could have your audience guess, and you could always adjust and then bring them into focus. Welcome, Tatiana's our mystery guest today. Then you can rotate your camera. Sometimes you just want to, maybe you want to make the point that life is feeling a little upside down right now. You can have some fun things. Then you can then have these apply to all scenes, but you don't have to, right? So it's just some different choices in here. We didn't cover green screen and all that today, but the other one I use very often is the digital zoom and pan, and maybe you guys also use digital zoom and pan. But if I don't, this is how the distance that my camera is from where I actually am in the position, because I have it on a teleprompter on top of my monitor. You know, this would be if all I had was a webcam and no manual controls. But I use digital zoom to be able to zoom in and make me more front and center in the frame rather than so super zoomed out. So that's a little bit on camera effects on my end. So I'll open it up. Let me just remove spotlight and end live demo mode. And if any of you are wondering, why did that infinity effect come in? It's because if I show you my zoom window, my camera is in there, and then that loops and shows that infinity effect. So that's why I had my zoom window in a different monitor while I was in live demo mode. Or I could have also changed my camera to a different camera too. But
If you go into gallery mode, you can avoid the infinity effect.
okay, I was in gallery mode, but I had spotlit myself. So I'm in gallery mode now. Let me start live
Right.
demo
I
mode.
mean, after you spotlight yourself, you have to go back into gallery view.
Yep. So here, just to show what you mean, David. So now I'm in gallery view in Zoom, and live demo mode is on, and you can see that does not happen. So this is but it does if I spotlight myself, right? Because it's showing my camera nice
No,
and
but
big. So
keep yourself spotlit, but then change your view back to gallery view.
okay, so spotlight myself, change my view to gallery view. Gotcha. Thank you. That makes sense, David, because now you guys are all seeing me spotlit, but I am not. Therefore, it is not creating that infinity loop visible to you. Okay, let me let David Hunt in here. Now end live demo mode as well. All right, so hopefully this is a little helpful to you guys. And David, hi David Hunt. I just feel like he's singing because of his photo. But Dr. Sunny, you mentioned something last week about Gamma AI. Have any of you been hearing the buzz about using Gamma AI for very quickly and easily creating slide decks, presentations? Does anybody? Stephen, you've been working with it too. Uh, Dimitri, you're also saying yes. It is not a free tool. You get 400 free credits, and you can with 400 credits, I think you can create about 6 slide decks, but they only allow 10 slides per slide deck on the free plan. I think it's about $150 a year, something like that. And unfortunately, there's no education discounts. I did double check, but I did use the free one because Sunny, you reminded us last month, but you had told me about this before. And I forgot about it until you mentioned it again. So I'm really glad you brought it up. And I was wondering, have any of you explored with that? I've also been playing around. I have a education Canva account. Canva has an AI tool that helps with presentations. So just wondering, what AI tools are you guys using, if you're using them, to help you speedify some of the content creation stuff, lesson creation content at all? Or if you have any questions about any of the video stuff we just talked about too. Steven, go for it.
Okay, so on the topic of Gamma, I've gone crazy with that tool, and what's
Did you get the
because I
premium version?
yeah, no, the paid version is it's kind of like once you play around with it and you realize, okay, now I need something for an actual event tomorrow, and it's only $10 for the month. I'll go get it for $10 for the month, and then I'll cancel it. And then
Okay.
you have a whole month, like, because they do the month by month, like it's pretty cheap, like it's about $10. So what I figured was I needed a slide desperately, and I was out of credits. I said, I'll go pay the $10. And then I had the whole month like a trial for $10. And then I just really abused it. And I realized, oh, take my credit card, like totally take my credit card, and don't tell anybody it's only $10 a month, because I didn't realize how much the depth. Like, just to give you a simple example, this past weekend I had 600 people at a 6-hour event, and I needed to change a section of 38 slides, and I didn't have the brain power or whatever to sit through and try to do that. And so I literally took the 38 slides and I uploaded them into Gamma. And I went downstairs to get my coffee. I come back, and it was like, oh my gosh, totally new design, totally new look. Everything was great. Now, I didn't just use it as is. It took me a few hours to go in and pull out, and then, but then there's an AI thing. So I clicked this and that. And I said, okay, consolidate these 2 slides into one. And then poof, it does it. And then, so I recommend with Gamma, you pay for the 1 month and you just go deep and see how deep you can go. Because I didn't realize I could do that. So I thought, like, I have to do like AI, like ChatGPT, create 5 slides and do dot dot dot. I didn't realize I could take any PDF, any document file. I could take any slide, Keynote or PowerPoint, whatever. I could upload it, and I can tell it, like, for example, I have wordy slides, like old wordy slides. I click a button, concise, make them concise.
Yep.
I have another one that says, one option that said, preserve all the word, like, I forget the word, but basically preserve the text. So now it's just going to lay it out differently. So that's why I said, it's like, I think it's really hard to get a good sense of that tool when it's kind of locked down. So if I could recommend that, and I don't know, there are tons of other tools that are out there, even Copilot with PowerPoint, but I just find that a little bit more cumbersome. And I do like the design elements that are coming out of Canva. And the one thing I did get this week from a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I've never seen slides like that. And oh my gosh, it's like so 2025 when, some of us, our slides, we've updated them, but we keep updating them based on the old slide. This is like completely start over
Yeah.
and change and whatever. So I can't recommend it enough if you're going to dive a little bit deep with it.
That's a great option to do a 1 month trial rather than the limited free credit. So I'll share with you guys what one of the trial ones that I did looks like. This is a lesson for an asynchronous class called Pause Before You Post, Learning to Emotionally Regulate Before Reacting to Posting Online. So I have the whole thing written out. Like I already know exactly what I want it to say, but you don't have to know in advance to make it happen. You can just give it a prompt and a topic and it will create something too. I had already done all of the writing part. So, and like I said, it maxes out at 10 cards. They call it cards, but it's basically a slide. And I think that and you can pick from different themes. So there are lots of different theme options on here that you can choose from. This is called Howlite. And I did pick the concise, keep it concise. I don't want very wordy slides or anything. And it gives me an image. Now, I will say, just me personally, I don't know how each of you feel individually. Like all of the images that it gives me are like very beautiful young people. And now my audience happens to be college students. So the age works well. Um, but I don't necessarily want to only portray pictures of these like incredibly beautiful faces and things. But again, that's just all personal choice. But I do like the aesthetic look of it overall in terms of simplicity, easy to read. I find some of the font to be a little bit small. If we were presenting in a traditional way in an in-person setting and like it's going to be projected, it's kind of small. But for a lot of virtual classes or asynchronous classes, people are going to be reading on a screen. And then the smaller size, I think, is okay. But some images are like very AI-ish. Like when I see this image, it feels like an image generated by AI, especially the placement of the eyes. But really, I have mostly all good things to say about this tool. And I only just scratched the surface. But even with it creating icons. Now, the other thing I want to mention is I I'm required by the university to submit for this one particular class PowerPoint presentations. And you can export them into PowerPoint presentations, but when you do, in the free version, there is this thing that says Gamma, created with Gamma. So there's a logo, a watermark. So you would need to delete all of that. But I do think it's a good tool, and I think AI tools are only going to get better at these types of things, helping us create content more easily and better and better and better with lots of ways to customize. And like you said, Stephen, it's a starting point, and then you can take it and adjust from there. Like, I mean, I'm happy. I was happy with the outline because it was already my words. But if they weren't my words, then I would probably be wanting to adjust it a little bit more. Over to you, David.
I just wanted to share another tool. I mean, this is a great educational tool. It's not really for Ecamm at all, but you made me think of it. It's called LitLab, Litlab. I think it's litlab.io maybe or .ai, I don't know, something like that. But it's for early elementary kids. It's aligned with all of the major curricula out there. And basically, it creates readers, it creates books for the kids. But you can choose, and you can have the child choose, their favorite character, the name of the character, what the character does. And then it uses AI to write a reader, a storybook um, uh, for this child, bespoke for that child with all the things that that kid loves. If the kid loves dinosaurs and the kid's name is Andy, you can have the main character of this book be Andy the dinosaur, and yet it's still going to write something that's aligned to the curriculum that you're teaching. It's really pretty cool. We're using it for the first time this year, and I'm really stoked about it.
Is it this one create a custom decodable fiction, nonfiction?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. So this is litlab.ai/create, and I will put it in the chat as well for any of you who might be in the younger grades education. That could be helpful. Thanks. Yeah, that could be a fun tool to explore.
The only other thing I'll share, and this has nothing to do with education or with Ecamm, is I've become addicted to lovable.dev and to vibe coding. I've built
I just learned what vibe coding is the other day.
yeah, I've already built 3 apps.
What
And
was the one, what was the first site you said? Love.
Lovable, Lovable, yeah, lovable.dev. Um, and I mean, there's nothing like a traditional full stack developer, but 2 of the 3 apps that I've built, I have not handed off to a developer. I've done them solely in Lovable, and like they work. It's just amazing. It's so cool.
Okay,
And
I
by
put
the way,
that in
and
the chat as well.
sorry, and like the slides one, what Stephen was saying is that you'll try it, you'll pay for whatever, a few credits, and you'll try it, and then you'll get sucked right in, and you'll just give them your credit card. It's terrible, but it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I That's a pretty cool resource. I mean, I really just think it's just going to keep getting better and better and better and better and improving. Yes, Demetra.
So I teach Greek language, and when the transcript that comes from Zoom, just the regular transcript, it can't pick up the 2 languages, Greek and English, within the same meeting. And I use Hello Audio for private podcasts. And when I use the AI in Hello Audio, I use several softwares, and that's the only one I've found that can do a multilingual translation, accurate translation in Greek and English. And I mean, the Greek words are using the Greek characters. And I'm happy with it. Like it does a perfect job, but it's not with my video. It's only with the audio. So then I do have an accurate transcript. So like when they watch the replay of the live class, no, sorry, if they listen to it in their podcast app, they have an accurate transcript. But my question is about language learning. I think there's something like 19 languages where Zoom can, or many of them can, many softwares can handle multilingual. Like Spanish, Korean, Polish, I don't know. There's 19 languages that you kind of find. So anyway, that's just my question to the community is if anybody has any good tips for language teaching and specifically multilingual transcripts.
Can I jump in?
Go for it.
So a couple things. So first of all, Zoom has an add-on. I believe it's $50 a year, which is kind of an incredible price for translated captions. The captions, the way we actually, so I run the Zoom Test Kitchen, which is a show that we do every Friday, and we spent about an hour playing with captions and translated captions this past week. But with that add-on, you can get pretty good translated captions. There are some limitations. So, for example, if you're using an Arabic or maybe even an Asian language that doesn't use the Greek, not the Greek, the English alphabet, the English characters, then none of that will work if you're streaming your Zoom meeting. It'll work in Zoom, but it won't work if you're streaming your Zoom meeting to YouTube. You just get blocks on the screen. So I might look into that translated captions add-on for Zoom.
Thank you so much. Yes, I don't need translated captions. I need multilingual where it picks up 2 languages within a meeting. And as I said,
no, but that's what I'm saying is that with this add-on, people can choose the language that they're either speaking in or.
David, we lost your audio.
I guess I could play around with that. So they would see all the captions in Greek. For example, if I'm speaking in English, going back and forth between Greek and English, the captions could be only in Greek. That's a possibility. I could consider that, but
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Zoom cannot detect multi-language. And I bring this up because in in I'm gonna test this out and see what happens if I speak another language in the transcript. Because when I talk to ChatGPT in English, but if I have one coaching client in another language. So when I'm creating content for that, chat can if I it doesn't matter what language, chat's on board,
oh
totally
yeah,
following me.
chats,
So
it's incredible.
yeah, it is fascinating. It really is
Because
awesome.
6 months ago, I was trying to create worksheets for my Greek students in chat, and there were a lot of mistakes. And now, oh my God, it's truly amazing. And I put
It
multilingual transcripts in there. I speak to it in 2 languages, and it totally gets it. It's blowing my mind.
hmm. All right, fam. So is everybody good for the last few minutes of our time together today? If we go into breakout rooms, this way it gives us a little bit of time to have some one-on-ones or one-on-twos and threes to chat a little bit and get to know each other a little bit better. So do I have a yes from you guys?
So it's 10 minutes to midnight here in Greece. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Oh, wow, Demetra, I didn't realize you were actually, but hey, listen, so good to have you with us today, and
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much.
coming. Please
Thank
keep
you.
coming back.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Take good care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. I'm creating these and we'll put 10 minutes. Well, I'll close them out in 10 minutes so we could all come back. All right, so you should be able to let's see. Did I choose automatic? Did you guys get a message? Oh, sorry. I have to open up all the rooms. There we go. So you guys are able now to join. What if
Hello?
we stay here in the
I,
main room? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That's so weird. That's
Yeah.
totally weird. That's so strange. So
Yeah.
odd. Well, we'll just stay and chat in here
All
if
right.
you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Awesome. Well, Daryl, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you teach and where you're from, what you love about teaching, what you love about Ecamm. I have so many questions.
Well, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm from Chicago. I actually happen to be in Chicago at this moment.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I am a traditional naturopath. So I teach, I have a membership that has to do with frequency healing and natural health. And so I teach classes at least once a week, but sometimes several times a week, um, on various topics having to do with natural health, mostly to the people who are already in my membership. So that's the part of being in the membership. You just get, like these classes that we're always doing. And I always do question and answer. So Ecamm allows me to do my presentations in a way that nobody in my field is doing. They don't even know
Yes.
what I'm using.
That's
Um,
that's how that's how I feel too.
yeah, and the Zoom integration has taken it to the next level because I'm able to do a classroom and I'm able to do question and answer. And then when I present it back to them, inside of a finished, polished document. It just looks not document, but video. It looks like nothing that they've ever seen. So it is because of Ecamm that I think that I've excelled in this realm of it.
That's beautiful. I love to hear that. Did you catch that, David?
Yeah, I did, and that's wonderful. I somehow got disconnected when we went to the breakouts. So
That's okay.
yeah,
But just join us here if you're okay with
yeah.
that.
Well, I came back in, and you. This is where I met you. Um, but yeah, so that's very beautiful. I just love the fact that you're able to. Maybe I could just share my screen. There we go. To connect in and just make a difference using Ecamm. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah.
yeah. Ecamm is great.
I really agreed with what you said. It felt very resonant. The part of doing things where most people in my field are also are not doing this. I know for sure in university settings, most professors are not doing these kinds of things in virtual classes
Yeah,
or even in asynchronous classes where there's no teaching and it's all creating content in advance that students then process and digest. So
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and so this and so I love classes like this because, for instance, every time you change scenes, I look at your scenes, and I'm not good with creating things from scratch, but like your background has given me just ideas of things
Oh
that I want to
yes.
do, and every
And
time you switch scenes, I write down a little note. "Oh, I like this, and I like the way this looks."
beautiful. And I have a whole profile of tons of scenes that I've designed, but I'm actually trying testing out this one that I bought from live streaming pros. Luria Petrucci has a she also uses Ecamm. She has a company, Live Streaming Pros, and her designer is called Paul Dixon, and he designed all these. So I'll just show you what this and you can change the backgrounds to be different. So like I could choose this one. I could choose this one. Oh no, that's the one I made. Wait, I can choose blue. I can choose pink. So there's some customization built into that, but this was a not an expensive purchase. I think I cannot remember exactly how much it was, but it was within reason. And I'll show you some of the other scenes. So there's a couple timer scenes.
Can you also tell me that website?
Livestreamingpros.com.
Live streaming what?
Pros, P R O
Okay, thank you,
S. Live streaming
thank you.
Yes.
pros.
I'll find it and put it in the chat for you right now.
Yeah, so
So they
my setup is also live streaming pros. I got this
Okay,
like about 4 years ago, and I've been rocking it
nice.
since
yeah,
then.
and
I've
you
never
can
purchased one before, and I think that I think it's time because I don't do well with design.
well,
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like you don't have to start from scratch and and like I've customized this to my own liking and you can totally do that. So let me put it in the chat for you, Daryl, livestreamingpros.com. And then there are also other people in the Ecan community who sell graphics like and some of them are free too. Like for example, Martin McKenna
Martin.
with the
Oof.
is it Selfie? Let's see, Selfie. Yeah, Selfie store. I've got to figure out which one. I know I had posted this, but if you look on the Ecamm Facebook group, Martin McKenna, Fulgens Henry, live streaming pros, and the
There's yeah,
designers
Fulgens
Paul
Henry
Dixon.
building blocks.
Yes,
Building blocks.
yeah, building blocks. They've got graphics and things and some free downloadable ones. But there are yeah, so and then I'll show you. So this is just a screen share, right? Where it's kind of basics like me and then the screen share over there. But then this is my mascot Nova. So I bring in my graphics and things. So you customize things, you make it your own.
Mhm.
And this is just completely plain. Um, a slightly different version. And then also for when
This
I
is the
bring
one that
in,
I loved because whenever I do a screen share of my browser, I never know how to fit myself back in there. But this is genius to me.
very good. And I just retweaked the size because the original size was very small, but so like the original size was like this size, and so I just tweaked it. But it is sometimes really nice not to have to start all the way from zero. Where it's just like, okay, here's my base model. I tweaked the background colors to match my brand, the orange and yellow on the sides here, but I think that they make very well designed content and the price is reasonable. So if design is not your thing, definitely explore some options and then
Yeah.
find a few free things too. But nobody says you always have to build everything from scratch, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely explore that. And I put the link in the chat for you too, so that's
Thank you. I
handy.
already clicked it. It's open.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
there's so my name is David. I am a
David,
Hi,
nice to meet
content
you.
David.
creator. I do a lot of faith-based Christian content and music and affirmations, powerful affirmation stuff. But anyways, I also got a lot of stuff from Live Streaming Pros. I've been rocking with them for several years, and so I just showed this one. This is the same template they have. Like you could put your stuff on the side and just make your picture a little smaller.
And it matches the lighting of your background too, the pink and the purple.
Yeah. So this is a browser window. You can just make yourself a squircle or a circle. Um, so that's just
That one scene that you just did where you were talking about what's coming up on the template, is it blank and then you went in there with Ecamm and typed that, or do you
right.
go into the, okay.
Yeah. So that's something, and so it changes whenever I'm
Because
presenting.
it's going to change probably every week, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't use it every week. It's only when I'm gonna present something formal, more formal. So I want people to know what's upcoming. And I've been through several of Alec Johnson's class. He
Mm-hmm.
has a free Ecamm masterclass where he shows a lot of this stuff, and he uses Keynote. I don't know if you use Keynote at all,
I do
Tati.
not. I do not. But I'm not against it. I just haven't. I've been utilizing not PowerPoint. I've been using PDFs inside of Ecamm, but I see
Okay.
the limitations of that now.
Yeah.
I
I
really
use
need a separate thing so that I can maneuver around without
Yes.
more
I
easily.
and I do use Keynote for that. So I will create the keynotes, share them through Ecamm, right? So there'll be a separate window instead of like the screen share when I was sharing on my desktop before, I would share Keynote because if I use Ecamm for all of my scenes, the Ecamm scenes become so big and take up so much room. I'd rather have them organized by topic, by look, by theme, by vibe inside of Keynote.
Yeah.
We did talk about that one month here too, exploring a Keynote, and I did some things. So, Daryl, if you look back, well, don't worry about having to go back and search back. I'll send it to you.
Well, I only found your YouTube page after you announced you had one, and I will spend this next week diving into those because I just found out about
Great.
this class yesterday.
That's awesome. Yeah, we meet
Yeah,
once a month on the third Tuesday of the month at this same time. If you drop your email, I'll add you to the list and then I can send out a monthly reminder right before session. But
absolutely.
it's always the third Tuesday. I'm gonna close out the breakout rooms, bring everybody back here.
Yeah, I have mine set
Thank you, Daryl.
as a calendar invite.
That's smart.
Yeah, I just put it. I saw I was like, oh snap, notification. Okay, let's go. I was still
Yay, thank
late,
you.
but
That's okay. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good conversation. I know we sure did.
Good.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
wonder what everybody else is saying to each other. Like,
Yeah,
We were talking about you,
Geraldine and
Stephen.
I have decided to keep it a secret. We're not telling anybody. We had some really kind of life shifting stuff that we're
Well,
keeping to ourselves.
that's what I mean. It's like, oh my God, can you believe I got the keys to the universe in my conversation? And it's like nobody else.
It was all very personal.
We had a great conversation in our group. We ended up talking a lot about scenes and overlays and templates things. For example, like being a fan of live streaming pros, Paul Dixon, the designer for live streaming pros and the content they put out and sell, and Fulgens Henry's scenes and Martin McKenna's scenes and things like that. So we had a good conversation about scene design and
I'm drinking all of their Kool-Aid, by the way. So I'm just telling you, like everybody that's from the beginning from Ecamm, they're all fantastic and they're all different. And that's what's to me the diversity of approaches, perspectives, and things like that. And if I may, Tatiana, just say no if it's not okay. But you asked about Alex's YouTube today,
oh
and
yes,
I've
yes, for a
seen,
takeaway.
yeah, so because I know Alex's stuff so well, and because I consider myself a really capable intermediate user, in other fields I would call myself advanced, but no way in Ecamm would I ever call myself advanced. Um, what I really, I heard something new today that I never paid attention, and he's probably said it 100 times. So he talks about having the grid, which is nice, having the 3x3 grid, which I've used, fantastic, and I still have it on my system. But then he talked about backgrounds. So if you look at my frame right now, right? So I have an inside frame and then I have an outside background. Well, he talked about having three, four, five, six different elements in the background that those of us that are all the e-cammers, right? We know that we can just turn on and off any one element. So if I wanted to have in the upper right-hand corner, all of a sudden I want it to be more pink, or I wanted to have a butterfly or whatever, but it would be from behind, and I can have motion and movement. So imagine having, five background elements totally behind, not me in the picture, but me in the frame, and then turning on and off so that it's really easy to create something different about your scene that's
Is
still
it you
consistent.
mean like what David's doing right now where he's got graphics behind him that are in motion?
Exactly what David's doing right now. Yes, exactly. Because you see his front frame is looking, that's consistent and unchanging, right? It's static, except for his dynamism, whatever, that's him. But behind it, there's something subtle. There you go. There's something subtle that's catching your eye. And sometimes we put it on too much of our screen, and it's really amazing to do little things like that. So what I saw today was five or six different things that were behind that he can just turn on and off, and that's just so easy to do with doing that. So that was just my takeaway from today. As somebody, now if you've never seen Alec, you're going to have a lot of takeaways, but especially in the way that he uses screens and stuff like that, but and his transitions and whatnot. But why didn't I pick that up before? I don't know. But next time I see you, I'm going to have some stuff going on.
Yes, and you're ready for that. And I love the motion in live streams because, it is interesting. It does interrupt the pattern to help us be more engaged. One caution that happened to me is I was recording a video with a colleague, and then he says a lot of filler words, and I needed to go back and edit that. And then the cuts between scenes were quite choppy because of the motion in the background and having to edit so much. So it's just something to be aware of. What I found is if you know that you're going to be working with someone that might require a lot of editing, but maybe you're not going with editing and this is not an issue. But if you are going to be doing editing, sometimes it can just be kind of abrupt. And so I don't have it in this profile, so I can't show it to you. And if you guys don't know, once you're in a profile in Ecamm, you can't switch. Once we're
Live.
live, right? So within Zoom, using Zoom, you can't switch profiles. So I found that there are some that the movement is there, but it's quite subtle, and that's a lot less abrupt in case you have to do post-production editing. If you're not doing post-production, then no biggie. But
And
that
also,
is a good
Tatiana, it
point,
wasn't it
Stephen.
wasn't just it wasn't just the movement. That was just one element. He had 5 other elements that were static. So that might work better if you knew that you had such a person, because at least doing a jump cut from one static element to another static element wouldn't be obviously
Yes,
weird, right?
agreed.
But a
Agreed.
combination of motion graphics as well as static elements brings some, you know, I think you just said pattern interrupt. And as somebody that does 5 to 6 hours straight on multiple days, man, we need power. We need some pattern interrupt, because it's hard
Absolutely.
to be that out of our mouth, the pattern interrupt all day.
Absolutely. And really, all that means is switch things up. Invite participation, invite another voice in the room, so many different ways for engagement. One of the ways that I'm doing it in my classes and in all my content, is incorporating my cute little mascot whose name is Nova. I wasn't able to do this for a long time because I don't know how to draw or illustrate and create consistent characters. But now that AI has advanced enough to help me with creating consistent characters, so ChatGPT has helped me make so many different expressions of Nova, and he makes an occasional appearance to encourage. He's like the emotionally expressiveness of in classes and content, and adds that a little bit of a cute factor that I'm very comfortable and happy to have. So that's a way that I'm doing it, and then I'll just switch scenes to show you. He can slide in just that little transition, adds a nice little visual pattern in there too. Before I let you guys go and we close out, is there anything that you guys want to talk about for next month? And I just want to let you guys know I won't be here next month because I am getting married next month. So I am otherwise engaged, so to speak. But
Congratulations.
thank you so much. Thank you very much. And so yes, I'm in wedding mode. I'm in wedding mode next month, but David will be here. And also want to remind you that any of you can lead us in a session as well. It does not always have to be David and I code. Yeah, thank you, David Hunt, for the fireworks. I love it. I see that. I gotta put you on spotlight so you're in the recording. So we can see you. So curious if there's a topic that you guys wanted to cover for August, also to be thinking about. And thank you, Shay and Daryl, for the congrats in the chat too. If there's anything, and the lights, if there's anything on your mind, or if you wanted to take the lead you can do like a 10-minute segment, a 15-minute segment. I want to open up the door for you guys to practice leading, sharing lessons, takeaways, tips, truly, any way that you want to practice. This is also a really comfortable, encouraging space for you to run through a presentation with us, run through a lesson with us, practice doing some of the scene switching, you want to bring some graphics to share. So, we're here to help any way that we can. So, any ideas for next month? No pressure.
No, but
Everybody's little
I
time to
had a quick
think.
question.
Mhm.
What's the YouTube channel again? I forgot the name.
Ecammforeducators.com.
Ecamm for Educators. Okay.
Educators.com, ecammforeducators.com. And that will bring you to, the link for the Zoom meetings. It will also lead you to the YouTube page where David uploads everything to a YouTube channel so that all of our sessions are recorded for posterity. And yeah. And any other resources and things you guys want to share, you can email them to David. I'm just going to put my email in the chat too, so you guys have it. Most of you guys have it, but just in case, so you know how to reach me too.
So, Tatiana, the only topic, and only if it's relevant to others, right? Uh, you and I have discussed this in the past, and I actually had a conversation last week with some folks from Stream Alive, which was fantastic. And I
Good.
spoke last time we were all together, and David was talking about liminal and tiles and all different things that we can do. I'd still love to get a deeper dive into how we might be able to get our own version, or until Stream Alive actually expands with more toys and tools and stuff like that. Is there a way, is there a simple enough way for us to build that out from chat responses? So in other words, when you do a say me, everybody say me, they say me, and there's a counter across the screen. So because everything else like I know for me, between widgets and overlays and stuff like that, even Uno and what, like there's a lot of stuff we can do, but I still haven't cracked that code on,
Yeah.
you know, unless I go to Stream Alive. And I gave them feedback because they asked for it. I just said, we just want more cool stuff like that.
Yes. And I did mention to Lux and Tina that specifically your request, and that would be a request that I also +1 for me too to have those kinds of things. It's so cool.
Yeah, so I guess for me, I'm just a bit of a geek nerd, whatever. So I love to geek out over, like, is there anything else that we can do to just level up without, you know, not for the sake of doing it, but for the sake of the interaction and the quality of interaction, or the, not just the novelty, but just the people having a little bit more of a wow factor and staying a little bit more interested or engaged.
Hmm. Just gonna say Chris's comment in the chat. It's late for you and you're turning in. So good night, Chris. Sweet dreams. See you next time. Thanks for coming. Yes, I mean, Stephen, I just think like, well, I don't have an answer. Past like it's something that I want. I would love to have more really cool interactive features. So just so everybody knows what we're talking about. We have a lot of tools at our disposal that are polls, word clouds, interactions, but there are some things that are available, say in OBS, that we don't have yet available in Ecamm, and there's some really cool things that we would like. There's one other platform, and I don't know if you've played around with it, called Social Stream Ninja, that
I've
does
heard of it.
allow Social Stream Ninja does have some like it allows, if people put emojis in the chat, it will create this overlay of the emojis floating up here, and I really like that. That's really the only one that's missing, and it's not like Stream Alive where the emojis show up on the shared screen. Like the emojis float up, and it's pretty cute. Like I gotta say I like it. But Social Stream Ninja is not super simple, and it adds another layer of complexity. So it's not plug and play, and it's kind of difficult. So we don't have super easy, at least not that I am aware of right now, super easy other tools accessible for more interaction. But I do feel like it's only a matter of time, and I wish that I knew how to create these kinds of things. But I think also, if the more people do a feature request to Ecamm, the more likely that that feature will be worked on. So
Yeah,
I think
great
that's
point.
another,
I'm remiss. I'm remiss in making it a feature request, so I will do that today.
yeah. And let me know where you post it, because I'll come in and comment and +1 all of those things as well. Just say, yeah, I would love this kind of a thing. So
Okay, cool.
let me know when you do that. But everybody, thank you so much for being here today. I do need to head out for the evening to go take care of an appointment, but please do let me know if you want to share, take the lead and do a mini lesson, or even just sharing a tip or a win or some kind. I want it to feel like this is our community and you guys get to shine in the spotlight and share some things as well. So, yes, I love Phil's. Phil has taken the lead before, right? Phil, you've shared some stuff on here, so everybody else feel free. But again, no pressure. But I do wish you guys a wonderful month. Let me know on social media how y'all are getting along. And yeah, I look forward to getting married.
When's your date?
Hold on a second. Are we still on YouTube?
Oh,
Let me see.
yeah.